What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. Okay, let's talk a bit about the Devstream 87. I'm going to give you the rundown of what's going on, and I'm going to share some thoughts along the way, since I've got plenty of time while Rainbow Six is updating for me. Since now Season 2 is out, and the latest update on that is now out. Stay tuned. Anyway, okay, so Devstream 87. It's interesting. Very interesting. A couple of things, kind of a quick rundown of stuff. So, you had the 24-hour alert that happened, obviously. TennoCon 2017 is happening July 8th for anyone that's looking into it. Second stream podcast, obviously, that went up right afterwards. Something I can't do. It's just not in my schedule. I've talked to Drew about it a few times. If I'm ever off on, say, a Friday, and it happens to be a second stream podcast day, I will contact him and I'll get on the second stream and I'll let y'all know that I'm gonna do it. Just so you can listen in and check it out. But for now, it's like I said, it's not something that I'm able to do. Just timing doesn't work. The same thing with the dev stream. Timing doesn't work. Prime time timing just doesn't work for me. So I just can't reiterate that enough to everybody. So hopefully something will come up soon that I can take part in. I am not taking part in the 72-hour live stream that's happening on the 17th through the 19th. It just doesn't fit my schedule. I've got a lot going on that weekend. My son's confirmation, his confirmation, he's in 8th grade. His confirmation is that weekend, so we have a lot of things planned. So, it's just, again, not feasible for me. Real life is just all that important. But moving on, Facebook Connect is no longer needed to participate in Twitch chats. Round 7 of TennoGen is actually going to be coming to all platforms at the same time. Now, I still have an issue with this because I believe, and don't hold me to it, but I believe on consoles they're allowed to use the Platinum to purchase them, if I'm correct. But yet on PC we're still not allowed to use Platinum. We have to have our stuff directly linked to the Steam Workshop and use real money to get them. Whatever happened to the early skins that for like weapons and stuff that were designed and put into game, and players made money in terms of Platinum when we bought them? Just curious. Baro's arrival time, I made a quick video on this. His time changes now from Fridays at 9 a.m. to Sundays at 9 a.m. So Friday 9 a.m. to Sunday 9 a.m. No more 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That's a big difference. You're taking away several hours. Okay? I'm just saying it's a big difference to many people. And at the same time, I know it doesn't affect everybody, but it's a big difference. Usually Sunday mornings I have a little bit of time to do some farming and such before he ends, and now you've taken that whole thing away, more or less. So that pretty much sucks. And I don't know why he couldn't rather just extend his time, which is something many people have talked about over and over. That would be better than, okay, let's just shift the times. Forget extending it. Let's just shift it. It's, yeah, because that's better. Whatever. The Bard Warframe is being named by the Design Council. I haven't even checked that out yet. I haven't been on the Design Council pages in forever. I should go over there and check it out. Maybe think about putting a name in for it, but who knows. But it's being done by the Design Council. The Prime giveaway contest, that's closed. 250,000 entrants for that contest, and they're currently drawing names of the winners, so they'll be contacting people hopefully next week. 250,000, so 250,000 people. And if you think about it, right, when they talk about the numbers of millions and millions of players in Warframe, and the way to have picked this up or to be participating in it is to have logged in on the page, right? Obviously on the Warframe page that they talked about, and then go and play the game. So really, in the month or so that they've had the contest available, only 250,000 people actually played the game. Or let's say entered the contest and play the game. So really, your 26 million is nowhere near your actual player base. Falsification of numbers, because we know that every game company tells you they have so many players, and really it's just registered users or duplicated accounts, sometimes triplicated accounts, if you will. But you know, I'm curious what the real numbers are. I mean, we're only talking 250,000. It's a lot of people, but it's still not compared to the registered users. So they talked a bit about Nef Anyo again, and they haven't done shit about him. Basically, they have some imagery from a long time ago, models, and they've done nothing. The Kayla de Thems rework, as well as 2 cinematic quests, and Neon Bearded Friend got pushed to the side. There's other bosses they mentioned. You know, one day we'll get to face him, even though he's, you know, the rework that they talked about the longest. They just put it to the side. Felt like, yeah, whatever. New sentient faction coming in. Okay, so that's great. They're kind of, you know, wanting it to be something different. It's going to look a little different. It's going to behave a little bit different, but at the same time, it's going to complement the Oculus and the Battlelist, and capable of the same type of thing on the battlefield. So hard as balls to kill, more or less, for many players. Not saying that it's not, but for many players it will be. The infested Eximus and the Eximus units become a mini boss. The Eximus units were implemented to be a mini boss. If you're a low level player who hasn't mastered the art of min-maxing, great, thanks guys, min-maxing, yeah, perfect, yeah. This goal is still mostly true, but these enemies are turned into mob fodder at higher levels, and the team is looking into new ways to challenge back to the mechanics. So they're really, you know, who hasn't learned the art of min-maxing? Let's just talk about it, right? They're min-maxing, because that's the way you play every game ever, instead of just playing it for fun and or making a build that works really good specifically for you, that may not work for somebody else but works really good for you. It is not necessarily part of the min-max developed by players discussions, if you will. Anyway, so the work in progress, there's going to be taking like the Eximus units and have specific weak points on the Eximus units, while, you know, the rest is, they might be invulnerable or highly resistant to damage, but susceptible to Warframe abilities like Titania's ability until these points are destroyed. Well, here's the only issue that I've really got here. You need to fix a lot of mechanics in order to make that work, and that's going to be especially when we're talking about hitboxes, because your hitboxes suck in many instances, in particular on melee. The hitboxes are horrible on many melee weapons, and this is only going to bring out how horrific some of the hitboxing is on your player, your AI profiles now, when we start adding in these specific weak points. I'm just saying. It's interesting, the mechanic or whatever that they want to think about bringing in, but like I said, there's just, to me, there's a whole bunch of other issues that need to be addressed first before you can just add another mechanic on top of it. You're only going to make that issue that already exists worse. They talked about the Ambulus rework. Okay, so Ambulus is getting a new look, new boss battle, new model, mechanics, evolution of the Bursa. Okay. No confirmed details on its attacks, but the boss fight will be similar to Raptor. Players won't be focused on defeating the singular boss, but rather a group of Ambulas with large objectives. So that'll be interesting. Open air, open world maps, spawning mechanic, enemy dropped from the sky instead of spawning in unseen hallways. Mini hyenas, they're talking about that. Kind of like the Likey and Fested Crawlers. Created by the Corpus to force players towards ground once in a while. Much like Drac and Heka Masters, the mini hyenas spawned by a fabricator and down by summoners. It'll be interesting. Trials. There's no plans to change any of the existing trials, but they are always working on removing exploits and bugs from the existing missions. If you don't know what the trials are, those are the 8-man missions that are out there. Um, yeah, that's where you get the arcane stuff from. Okay. New defector rescue mission coming from the Glass Gambit update. Looking into new ways to incorporate NPCs into missions. So this new game mode. It's going to be coming to PC first, called Defector Rescue. Grenier defectors answer distress calls in space, only to overcome extremely aggressive infestation. They'll be scattered throughout ships, healing stations that the defectors could use, but only if the Tenno keep them powered up can they be used. Protect the defectors. It's going to be a little bit more detail on a rescue mission than what we currently get now. It's an endless mission type, so this should be interesting, especially when you have to get to certain points and power them up so that way the NPCs can stay healed. So might be interesting. Might be interesting. Syndicate assassination system, the Kingpins that was mentioned before, the War Within, was released, and it's probably a larger goal they're making for making clans great again. How about just making stuff for clans again? You know, Solar Rails, bring back Solar Rails, but not the secondary design of Solar Rails, more the original design of Solar Rails, where people actually played. Um, Boss fight redesigns, yeah, okay, well, you know, they talk about escalation, narratives, how they fit into the environment, challenge overcoming, ensuring that they last more than 5 seconds against players that are, you know, 17 forma Tonkors. Well, I mean, there's some, again, adjustments that can be made that should be addressed before you start changing other things and adding on top of it. And then just some quick things also. They talked about the Limbo rework. It's still in progress. Nothing to show because, well, they've got 20 other billion things that are on rework status. Sentient Whirlwinds nullifiers promote the proposed, you know, Eximus weak points. All basically to accomplish getting players to stop the mob grinder for a moment and rethink the strategy. Yeah, that's not really how your game is designed. So you're just going to force something into something that doesn't really fit. Stealth units. So outside of like Mannix, who only attack when the alarm level is high enough. There might be changes in the future like cloaking, wall running foes, if you will. Some NPCs will start parkour moving around, like especially in the Rathum and rescue missions. Enemies should be returning unalerted states after you stop terrorizing them. So if you don't see that happening now, you can actually submit a bug report on that. And then they're looking into changing the energy economy on the new operator gameplay. So not entirely sure what that means, but yeah. Let's change the energy economy on our current operators. It's generally not a good thing when they want to change stuff around like that, but you know what? I guess only time will tell what changes. So that's your rundown. There you go. If you haven't already seen it or you're waiting for my opinions and thoughts on it, feel free to share below. I will catch you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Another job well executed.